Hello, everybody. It's Aman again, your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur from Japan. Right now, I'm visiting India, so this doesn't look like Japan. I'm in a park, a beautiful park. In India, in the residential neighborhoods, you have these, even in Japan, but like you have these beautiful little parks with like, uh, you know, stuff for kids, and I really like it. Yeah. Okay. There are some parrots, I believe. I've been showing some parrots here and there. You might see one over there, for example. You know, you might see some there. Yeah, this it's kind of too whatever. All right. I'm still recording. Okay, we're still recording. So today I want to talk about. So in the last video I talked about turning pro, and it got to like 40 minutes. I'm sorry about that. And in this video I want to talk about and one aspect of turning pro in more detail, right? The first aspect was that you show up to work, you show up to do your job, do what you're supposed to do, regardless of your state and your feeling on that day, right? The amateur will be like, oh, I had a bad day, I can't go to work, I can't train, I can't show up, I can't do this, whatever, right? Unless they're really sick and they're like, they just cannot, right? The professional will tolerate a lot of pain before they throw in the towel and say, okay, I just cannot show up today, right? Whoa. Okay, now I can show you. Where's the bird? Right now, there's like an eagle or a hawk around, and I guess the parrots are scared, you know. Some shit's gonna go down here, baby. Like all these, yeah, this eagle or hawk, whoever that is, you know, looks hungry. Oh, whatever. Okay, well. I mean, I don't know if he's hungry or she's hungry actually, but whatever. So, yeah, the second aspect is your relationship with results, right? If you're a professional for any length of time, a real, you know, creative for any length of time, as an entrepreneur, as a painter, artist, doctor, whatever it is your craft is, right? Whatever your art is, a surgeon, right? Then, and actually surgery is a work of art and craft, you know, I believe. Then, okay, let's count surgery out because it doesn't apply to the example, but still, you know, you will not always have a super successful day at work, right? You won't have a super successful movie every single time. You will have flops. You will have songs and jokes that bombed as a comedian. You will have projects that fail as an entrepreneur, as an engineer. You'll have companies that fail as an entrepreneur, and you will have, you know, a botched or less than ideal surgery as a surgeon. You've seen those, right? Over your career. And so how do you, if you're somebody who's an amateur, then you're just addicted to progress, right? You just want results every single day. Every time you show up, every time you do something, you want the best results, and that's your life, right? And amateurs get weeded out very quickly because they're impatient. The professional knows that having bombs and flops is a part of the process. Not just on a daily basis, but on a weekly, monthly basis. You'll have flop days, you'll have flop hours, you'll have flop weeks, flop months, flop years as a professional, right? As a pro. So the thing about being a pro is that you have to be prepared for that, and you have to accept that that is a fact, and that is what makes you great in the end, because the real goal of being a professional is to be dedicated to their craft and to get better at their craft over time. And without flops, you can't learn that much, right? And but let's forget about the positives or the benefits of flops, and let's talk about your attitude towards, like, how do you deal with it on a daily basis, right? And that's where routine comes in, right? You have to show up and write or do your job, whatever, at a certain time, at a certain schedule that fits your line of creativity, and that's where, and you have to get all your rewards from just that day's work, right? Your to-do list has to be your source of reward, not your goals list, right? I'll do this and then I'll get that and then I'll be happy, is not the professional's way of thinking. That's how the amateur thinks. The amateur does things because of the eventual reward, and the professional does things because that's their job, right? And the job is the reward. And that's an idea, of course. Like, you might be in a job that you hate, and you do it because, whatever reason, than some internal drive for creativity. But then you're not a professional in that sense. Like, it's more like a shadow career for you, right? If you are really a writer, but you're also a practicing doctor, and you don't love being a doctor that much, you just do it because it pays the bills and whatever, right? Then you're not really a pro artist, right? Because medicine for you is not art anymore. Like, it's whatever it is, right? You might be a professional in the social sense that you get paid to be a doctor, but you're not a pro artist, which is what you're talking about, a pro creative, right? Because you're running away from your writing, right? So the professional has to do their work regardless of whether they're getting paid or not, and regardless of whether they're, of course you can still be a doctor or whatever you're doing, whatever your shadow career is, as long as you're still also, being a pro and sticking to your routine, maybe doing after hours, maybe doing whenever you can, right? Whatever your schedule will be, but you have to stick to that routine, right? And I found like a hidden benefit of doing this, of being rewarded by the work itself. And the reward is that it's faster. You get more results faster when you ditch timelines and you ditch goals. And I'm super serious. I used to be the most goal-oriented person ever, right? I used to have SMART goals and this goals and timelines and all this planned up, and like milestones and everything planned out for how I want to achieve my goals, right? And but when I look back, I'm in my 30s now, but when I look back over my career, any genuine success that I ever had, which usually came to me very quickly, was from surrendering any timelines or concrete, goals as such, and instead striving to live a vision every day. What does striving to live a vision every day mean, right? I, for example, wanted to, when I learned Japanese, right, and I got to a a fairly decent, like, you know, advanced level of fluency in Japanese within 1 year. 1 year, right? And how did I do that? And I was building a company full time, right? It's not like Japanese when I wasn't like a diplomat who's like just learning Japanese all day because you have to. So self-taught, no courses. I got to an advanced level of fluency in Japanese in 1 year. And the reason why I was able to do that is because I had given myself 10 years. And I had a vision that actually had no timeline. I was just committed to it. I had a vision that one day I want to speak fluent Japanese, and I want to be able to enjoy, you know, my favorite content in Japanese. I want to be doing business and talking to people in Japanese and everything in Japanese, right? I want to be listening, writing, communicating in Japanese. That was just a vision. Like I would be fluent, or I would be not just I would be fluent, but I would be doing these things in Japanese, right? A lot of people who come to Japan to quote unquote study Japanese don't actually have any real vision for themselves. They just have a goal like, oh, I want to be fluent in Japanese because, and then I get a job, you know, it makes things easier, it makes that easier. But they don't really care, and you'll see it in their actions, right? They go to Japanese class and they, you know, enroll in a Japanese school, and they never actually put in much effort, or you can see that, you know, they're not that serious about Japanese. They have all the excuses about why they can't learn, why they can't progress. It's really hard, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. And I'm sorry to be blunt here, but every person I know who's actually become fluent in Japanese had no timeline for when they want to get fluent or when they want to, you know, pass certain exams or whatever, right? So I don't subscribe to the, and Benny, if you're listening to this, you know, I'm sorry, but I don't subscribe to the fluent in 3 months type of mindset, even though I know it's attractive to many people. But yeah, I just saw myself speaking, and I started doing those things every day. I started reading Japanese, even though I couldn't understand anything, and I would just translate everything. I used this tool called Lingq, Lingq, for reading Japanese, and I would just take up content that I enjoyed in Japanese, regardless of like, I didn't do like baby rhymes or like, you know, children's stories to dumb it down. I wanted to consume real literature, and that's what I did. I just did the things that I would want to do eventually in Japanese, right? And slowly over time, it like the progress, because I was showing up every day for at least half an hour to read and listen to Japanese content and try to understand it. I could do that forever, number one, and I enjoyed it, right? Even though it looked painful for somebody else, like, whoa, it's so slow. You're reading Japanese content and you have to look up every word. Like, I would never do that, right? I mean, I made it easier by just clicking a button and you know, just clicking on the word, and I would get the meaning. But still, it was like painful when in the beginning it took me like half an hour to get through one sentence and or less than half a paragraph and understand what it means. Half an hour, right? But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process so much. So when when I lost, I used to be a chubby kid, right? And you might not believe it today if you saw me, but I was. Are we still recording? Okay, we're still recording, thank God. I hope it will go, because I just saw my battery is dying out, so I was wondering if the video stopped recording because of that pop-up. I was a chubby kid, and my fucking god. Okay, it's like there's flurries of parrots everywhere. Okay, so and I tried unsuccessfully for years to lose weight, right? What finally did work was I committed to a certain lifestyle, a plant-rich, plant-based lifestyle, eating healthier foods, and being more respectful to my body, and seeing that that is my vision. Like, I want to be the kind of person who takes their body seriously, who eats healthy foods every day, and I wanted to be that person. And I decided to act as much as possible like that person every single day, with no timeline whatsoever on when I would lose weight or how I would look, in the future. And within 8 months, I was one of the leanest people I knew, right? And it's kind of incredible for people to believe who haven't had a transformation, physical transformation, but those who have had any physical transformation in their lives, whether it's building muscle, which I'm doing now, and that's, I had the same story to repeat because I hadn't really internalized this concept of being professional, and I was really frustrated with progress. But now I actually enjoy training. I actually enjoy working out, strength training, and I think within a couple of years, or I don't know how many years, you will see me on this channel probably, jacked and having the kind of body that maybe you see on fitness magazines. I don't know. But I know that I am now serious about that lifestyle, like about adopting that lifestyle that will lead to, that is in line with the vision that you have, right? If you want to be a successful author and you describe your day as a successful author, right? What happens in a given day? What do you do in a given day in terms of your work? Where, I now see that when I'm jacked, for example, I want to be pushing my body, doing challenging, movements with my body, and, enjoying the process of feeling that burn, right? And being grateful for that, discomfort in my muscles every day, right? And so that's what I do. I just live that lifestyle already now, right? Where there's no ego anymore, like I know that when I'm strong, one day when I'll be like, a strong guy who's whatever, having an ego and being jealous of other people's progress will not be part of the reason, right? Because there's still going to be stronger people than me at that time. But I would just be on my own journey. I would just be confident in my, body. Yeah, I just keep trying to capture parrots on camera. And I would be working hard because I would enjoy it. I would be happy with the process of challenging my body. And so that's what I do now. I have no ego. I do really simple exercises and I try to make them like challenging. And, that's what historically leads to the fastest progress, right? And whenever I set goals and I have timelines, I've never achieved those goals and I've always failed, and I've, always progressed really, really slowly or never seen progress at all. And maybe this is probably true for you, these are universal principles. These principles work for everybody who's doing something difficult and challenging, where it's not linear, it's not mathematics that you do X and you get Y. So yeah, that's the video.